Tennis world shocked. Eala Jovic under intense WTA scrutiny after cold-blooded Roland Garros clash, with best friend Eala sparks fierce fair play debate.
I think it's all in perspective, so it's been a long time since I moved to Spain, or since that
Welcome back to Champions Tennisidics, your ultimate home for everything tennis, where the drama never sleeps and the courtside action gets hotter by the second. Today, we are breaking down an absolute bombshell that has completely polarized the tennis community, lit up social media like a wildfire, and left fans, pundits, and officials intensely divided. Get ready, because what started as a highly anticipated opening round showdown at the iconic clay courts of Roland Garros has officially transformed into one of the most talked about, scrutinized, and controversial stories of the entire WTA season. We are diving deep into the explosive fallout surrounding the American teenage sensation, Eala Jovic, following her intense, high-stakes battle against the Philippines' Golden Girl, Eala. Now, if you looked at the live score or just glanced at the post-match headlines, you might think this was just another routine victory for a rising powerhouse. The 17-seeded Eala Jovic walked away with a straight sets triumph, defeating Eala 64-62 in an hour and 40 minutes of absolute baseline warfare. But if you think that tells the whole story, you are sorely mistaken. Behind those numbers lies a narrative dripping with psychological warfare, sudden momentum shifts, tactical targeting, and a raging debate over sportsmanship, gamesmanship, and where the line between fair play and ruthless competitive drive should be drawn. The tennis world is currently under a spell of intense speculation, and everyone is asking the exact same question. Did Eala Jovic's team take things too far in their quest to break down Eala, or is this just elite-level professional sport at its finest? To truly understand why the tennis world is losing its collective mind right now, we have to look at the unique, deeply emotional backstory of these two incredible young athletes. You see, Eala Jovic and Eala aren't just random competitors pulling numbers out of a hat to face each other on the WTA Tour. They are incredibly close friends, frequent doubles partners, and two young women who have practically grown up together traveling across the globe, sharing the intense rigors of professional tennis. Just days before they pulled this fateful first-round draw in Paris, they were practicing side by side on the very same clay courts. In fact, a video went viral just before the tournament showing Jovic and a group of fellow players surprising Eala with a birthday cake right on the practice court, singing to her, laughing, and sharing a beautiful human moment. They have shared major career milestones, including a spectacular run to the semifinals of the ASB Classic in Auckland earlier this year, where they teamed up as a dynamic doubles duo to take down legendary names like Elina Svitolina and the iconic Venus Williams. They know each other's games inside out, they know each other's secrets, and they know exactly what makes the other tick. So, when the lottery of the Grand Slam draw pitted them against one another in the very first round of the French Open, the tension was already built in. It was the ultimate friendly fire scenario. But as the legendary Chris Evert once said, friendship disappears the moment you step across that white line and onto the court. And oh boy, did it disappear. When the match kicked off on court 14, the tactical battle plan from the Jovic camp became instantly clear, and this is exactly where the first sparks of controversy began to fly. Reports and rumors began swirling wildly across the back corridors of Roland Garros and into the tennis press that Jovic's coaching staff had meticulously identified what they believed to be a massive, glaring weakness in Eala's game, a specific technical or psychological vulnerability that they intended to exploit ruthlessly. From the very first serve, Jovic came out playing an unbelievably aggressive, high-risk, high-reward style of tennis that looked less like a friendly match against a doubles partner and more like a psychological demolition derby. Jovic was utterly relentless, firing thunderous forehands down the line and playing with a cold-blooded precision that caught Eala completely off guard. Within what felt like the blink of an eye, Jovic stormed to a commanding 5-1 lead in the opening set. It looked less like a tennis match and more like a statement. Fans watching the broadcast immediately picked up on the frosty, high-intensity atmosphere. The usual polite nods and friendly acknowledgments you might expect between two best friends were replaced by an icy glare from Jovic, who looked determined to utterly erase Eala from the court. On social media, the reaction was instantaneous. Fan channels and Twitter spaces erupted with viewers accusing Jovic and her team of engaging in extreme mind games, suggesting that the public display of targeted aggression crossed the invisible line of sportsmanship, turning a Grand Slam match into a personal ambush. But Eala did not get to the absolute pinnacle of Southeast Asian tennis by rolling over and playing dead. Just when it looked like Jovic was going to bag the first set in record time, the match took a wildly dramatic, chaotic turn that added massive fuel to the growing fire of controversy. Serving for the set at 5-1, Jovic's composure suddenly fractured in spectacular fashion. The American teenager committed 3 catastrophic double faults in a single game, handing a crucial break back to Eala. Sensing a microscopic crack in her opponent's armor, Eala dug deep, channeling the incredible fighting spirit that has made her a hero to millions of fans in the Philippines and around the world. The games became brutal, grueling, deuce-filled marathons. Eala held her serve, then broke Jovic a second time, miraculously clawing her way back to 5-4. The momentum had completely shifted, the crowd on court 14 was roaring, and the pressure was squarely on the shoulders of the 17th seed. It was during these highly charged, hyper-tense moments that critics argue the gamesmanship truly began. Every point became an emotional battlefield. Delaying tactics, prolonged breathing routines, intense stares across the net, and highly vocal self-encouragement from Jovic's side left Eala looking increasingly frustrated. Commentators noted the heavy psychological weight hanging over the court. Just as Eala seemed poised to complete one of the greatest first-set comebacks of the tournament, Jovic suddenly locked back in, stopping the bleeding by breaking Eala's serve right back to desperately snatch the opening set 64. The second set began with the exact same frantic, emotionally exhausting energy. Both players exchanged early breaks of serve, standing toe-to-toe through the first 4 games, locked in a 2-2 stalemate. But the mental toll of the first set collapse and the ferocious tactical pressure from Jovic's team began to wear heavily on Eala. Jovic broke through once again in the 6th game to take a 4-2 lead, and from there, she simply pulled away, rattling off the final 4 games of the match to secure the 64-62 victory. The statistical breakdown of the match revealed the absolute brutality of Jovic's tactical plan. She finished with a massive 34 winners compared to Eala's 15, turning the match into a showcase of pure offensive power. But while Jovic may have won the match on paper, the court of public opinion was just getting started, and a massive debate over fair play quickly overshadowed the actual result. Almost immediately after the final ball was struck, social media platforms exploded into a war of words between competing factions of tennis fans. On one side, furious fans argued that the sheer intensity and the alleged premeditated targeting of Eala's weaknesses by Jovic's team violated the unwritten code of tennis etiquette, especially given their deep personal friendship. Accusations of hyper-aggressive gamesmanship and unfair psychological manipulation flew wildly across message boards. Critics claimed that Jovic's conduct during Eala's furious first-set comeback was deliberately designed to disrupt the Filipina's rhythm and break her focus. They argued that the WTA needs to take a closer look at player conduct and officiating, ensuring that the line between fierce competition and hostile gamesmanship is strictly maintained to preserve the integrity of fair play. However, the tennis world is rarely unanimous, and an equally vocal group of defenders rushed to Iva Jovic's side, arguing that the entire controversy has been completely blown out of proportion by oversensitive fans and dramatic media outlets. These defenders point out that tennis is a professional sport worth millions of dollars, where a single match can define a player's career trajectory. To expect a player to tone down their competitive drive or hold back a winning tactical strategy just because they are facing a friend is not only unrealistic, but it is also a disservice to the sport itself. They argue that identifying and exploiting an opponent's weakness is literally the foundational definition of coaching and strategy. Jovic didn't break any official rules. She didn't commit an audible obscenity. She didn't smash her racket into the clay, and she didn't receive a single code violation from the chair umpire. She simply hung tough when the pressure was at its absolute highest and executed her game plan to perfection. The most beautiful and perhaps shocking twist in this entire unfolding drama is how the two players at the absolute center of the storm reacted once the dust finally settled. While the internet was busy tearing itself apart over questions of sportsmanship and unfair play, Jovic and Eala showed the world what true class looks like. As soon as the final point ended, the two walked to the net and shared a massive, incredibly emotional hug that spoke volumes. But just when you thought the storyline couldn't get any more dramatic, the tennis gods handed Iva Jovic an even bigger, more high-profile stage to showcase her undeniable talent. After surviving the emotional roller coaster against Eala, Jovic advanced deeper into the Roland Garros draw, setting up a blockbuster third-round clash against none other than the legendary former world #1 and four-time Grand Slam champion, Naomi Osaka. Talk about going out of the frying pan and straight into the absolute fire. The match took place on the magnificent court Suzanne Lenglen under a blazing Paris heatwave, and it instantly turned into an absolute instant classic that pushed both athletes to their absolute physical and mental limits. Osaka, who has been making massive waves in Paris not just with her tennis, but with her haute couture fashion statements, walked onto the court wearing a jaw-dropping, glittering gold sequined outfit complete with a voluminous gold train and pink tennis sneakers. She looked like a literal queen ready to reclaim her throne. But 17-year-old Iva Jovic was completely unfazed by the glitz, the glamour, or the massive reputation of her opponent. Jovic walked onto that massive stadium court looking completely at ease, playing with a brutal, fearless shot-making style that threatened to completely dull Osaka's golden sparkle. The match turned into an absolute baseline slugfest, with Jovic matching Osaka's legendary power blow for blow, refusing to buckle under the immense pressure. The first set went all the way to a razor-thin tiebreak, where Osaka had to desperately save multiple set points before finally subduing the fearless American teenager 7-5. But Jovic wasn't done yet. In the second set, the teenager fought back with an unbelievable display of resilience, breaking Osaka's serve and forcing yet another tiebreak. This time, Jovic completely dominated the tiebreak, winning at 7-3 to level the match and send shockwaves through the Parisian crowd. The deciding third set was played on an absolute knife edge, with both players trading thunderous ground strokes in the fading Paris heat. It wasn't until the very final game, with Jovic serving at 4-5, that Osaka managed to carve out a match point and convert it, escaping with a grueling 7-6, 6-7, 6-4 victory to reach the fourth round. After the match, a visibly relieved Naomi Osaka praised Jovic's incredible performance, admitting that the teenager was unbelievably aggressive, precise, and pushed her to the absolute brink. While Jovic was busy pushing former world #1s to three-set thrillers, Eala was busy proving that her singles exit at Roland Garros was not going to define her season. Showing the true mark of a champion, Eala quickly put the singles disappointment behind her and shifted her entire focus to the grass court season, launching an aggressive campaign at the Birmingham Open. The Filipina star entered the tournament with a burning desire to silence the critics and prove that she belongs among the absolute elite of the sport. In a spectacular turn of events, Eala found herself elevated to the coveted status of the top seed in the updated Birmingham draw. This massive opportunity has given Eala the perfect platform to bounce back, showcase her incredible adaptability on a completely different surface, and build massive momentum heading toward Wimbledon. The tennis world is watching her every move with bated breath, eager to see how she handles the immense pressure of being the hunted top seed. When you step back and look at the entire landscape of women's tennis right now, this explosive saga between Iva Jovic and Alex Eala highlights the fascinating, high-stakes evolution of the WTA Tour. We are living in a thrilling new era where a brilliant generation of fearless teenagers and young stars are rapidly rising to the top, bringing an unprecedented level of athleticism, raw power, and unapologetic competitive intensity to the sport. The margins between victory and defeat at the Grand Slam level have never been thinner. Every single edge, whether it is a technical adjustment, a statistical insight, or a psychological advantage, can be the difference between hoisting a trophy and catching the next flight home. This intense reality creates an incredibly compelling paradox for players like Jovic and Eala, who must find a way to balance the deep, lifelong friendships formed in the locker room with the cold, ruthless demands of professional sportsmanship on the court. It is a tightrope walk of the highest order, and as this season has shown, the drama it produces is absolute box office entertainment for tennis fans worldwide. The Iva Jovic and Alex Eala controversy has officially transcended a single opening round match at the French Open. It has ignited a massive, incredibly healthy debate about the very nature of competition, the definition of sportsmanship, and the incredible psychological pressures faced by the next generation of tennis superstars. Whether you see Jovic as a brilliant, cold-blooded tactician who did exactly what was necessary to win a professional tennis match, or you see her actions as a borderline case of gamesmanship that tested the limits of fair play, one thing is completely undeniable. Both Iva Jovic and Alex Eala are absolute superstars who represent the incredibly bright, thrilling future of the WTA Tour. Their paths are guaranteed to cross again on the biggest stages in the world, and you can bet that their next encounter will be one of the most highly anticipated tickets in all of sports. Now we want to hear from you, the incredible Champions Tennisitics community. What is your take on this entire explosive situation? Do you think Iva Jovic's aggressive tactical targeting and intense court presence crossed the line into unfair play, or was it just masterclass professional strategy against a tough opponent? How do you think Alex Eala will bounce back as the top seed in Birmingham? Smash your thoughts, predictions, and opinions into the comment section down below because we read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the wildest drama in the tennis world, make sure to absolutely destroy that like button, share this video with your fellow tennis fanatics, and hit that subscribe button with notifications turned on so you never miss a single piece of breaking news, match analysis, or courtside controversy here on Champions Tennisitics. Thank you so much for watching, keep loving the game, and we will see you in the next one.
It's been a long time since I moved to Spain, or since that period of time that I was talking about in the podcast. No, I'm top